Hello, this is Sirena Nereida with Celestial Soul Wellness, and thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde is very special. It's actually a wonderful time. A lot of you probably who have heard, oh no, beware. Don't give in to that fear mechanism. Our society is so fear-based. They make money off of people because of fear. Medications, watching the news. Just stop it all. Just stop. When you only focus on the fear, then you're creating toxins in your body. Hence, then you get sick, aching, diseases, chronic pains. And that's all because of fear-based, guilt-based, and worthy and all that. And you just need to just stop it all. Do yourself a favor. Have the characteristics and the attitude that you did when you were a child. And really just go for it. Because when we went, we didn't worry about all these little nitpicky things. And then our society has us trained, especially if you're an adult or a parent, that if you're not worried about all these things, you are being irresponsible to your child. Oh my goodness. Who's going to want to be an adult? Who's going to want to have family, with all that. So let's encourage something good. And let me tell you, with Mercury retrograde, first of all, Mercury rules two signs. It rules Gemini and it rules Virgo. Okay, Mercury is the planet that most affects the energies of communication. Not just our communication, all right, and our hand motor. Oh, okay, so those with autism are ruled by Mercury, just so you know. But also communication that is written, communication that is emailed, okay, through technology, by phone. So a lot of it gets a little bit chaotic, and not really, just usually the storm. So about a week before Mercury actually goes retrograde is where all the confusion, the chaos happens. And then when Mercury goes direct, that confusion, that energy. So let me explain. So let's imagine that this is Earth. And what happens is Mercury, let's say it's here. Okay, I'm going to do it at an angle. You ever been parked, or not parked, but stopped at a light? And then all of a sudden the car next to you is rolling backwards, but you feel like you're going forward. Well, that is the idea of Mercury retrograde, okay? But what's really going on is that it's not going backwards. It's actually we're at a different angle, okay? That is creating that perception and creating those energies. So really what Mercury retrograde is affecting is our perception, okay? How we perceive, how we look at things. And so we're now seeing things at a different angle, which is creating a lot of chaos. You're saying, well, maybe we shouldn't see things through a different angle. Yes, we should see those things through a different angle and realize too that there's more than one way, okay, to understand things. If we do only have one way, then we're very limited and we cannot apply. So the more learned we are, the more we read, the more we interact, especially with other cultures, the more things that we experience, we have a wider horizon, a wider perception of what is going on, and we can understand things better. So we're less critical, okay? We're more forgiving and understanding and more empathetic, if not sympathetic, okay, to other people's situations. We can assist or at least lay off the criticism, okay? And that's very important. Now, going back to the idea of Mercury retrograde, if you were born with Mercury retrograde, you actually will see things so much clearer during the Mercury retrograde period than you would during other times. In fact, sometimes you feel people just don't understand what you're getting at because your Mercury's retrograde. You might not know that, but other people be like, what are they saying? Why are they being this way? Why are they doing that? When really it is just because you're coming from a different perspective, a different angle, a different tone than they're used to. So sometimes when our communication is bad, yet we need to work with that person, or we are in a situation, we're in a home with that person, or we have to cohabitate. If it's our child, our loved one, then we need to just sit back and say, okay, I know you're trying to tell me something very important for you. I want to know what it is because I care for you. Please, the way you've been telling me, I cannot understand, and I need to understand you. So perhaps is there another way or another take on how to get me to understand, please? Maybe we need to take a break and then return tomorrow to discuss this. Make it very optional when you're discussing with people. Also, during Mercury retrograde, well, just period, never have an argument on text. The minute the tone goes negative, argumentative, stop. Having arguments on text is ridiculous. It just is. You're not hearing the person, you're not hearing the tone, the understanding is not clear. First, then a lot of times people are not even texting complete sentences, so they're not giving their complete thoughts, and they're cutting words. So it is fruitless. You're not going to get anywhere. If it's really important, call the person. Well, I can't take the call at that time. Well, then you shouldn't be having an argument in the first place there. You shouldn't be communicating with someone else. That's the bottom line. Be the adult, be understanding, be responsible, and realize that. Ground yourself. That's what all about being an adult is being grounded, being responsible for our actions, okay, understanding that every action has a reaction, including love, okay, including arguments, including frustration. So ground. And it is appropriate. The same rules that we have for working in the professional arena applies with our loved ones, and more so, okay? Don't say certain things around them. Be caring and supportive. Ask, okay? Don't harass. Those are more important, yet people think, oh, because they're my loved one, I get to treat them like crap. Oh, I'm just messing with them. When really what you're doing, you're trying to get an ego boost. Which is really sad because you're doing it off someone who loves you. Shame for shame for shame. Anyway, going back to Mercury retrograde. When Mercury retrogrades, what is a good thing to do before the storm, the week before, is to, just in case, is to back up everything on your computers, your phone, because Mercury rules technology, all right? Electronics. I had one Mercury retrograde where not only did the car go out, okay, the vacuum cleaner went out and the refrigerator went out. And I had to see going, well, you know, what is this happening? It's not touching any of my personal planets. No, it was square my Venus in Virgo. So it was like, oh my God, there you go, you know, creating a lot of obstacles. And yet a lot of brand new things, you know, instead of the negative, it's looking forward and looking positive, going, okay, so I got this new on my car, more reliable. I'm getting new refrigerator, more reliable, you know, the vacuum cleaner is getting updated, you know, so those are ways, it's just a matter of perception. Sometimes things needed to go out, okay? And those of you know that sometimes, since my moon is in Aquarius, sometimes the electronics and technology just goes with me as it is. And then with Mercury retrograde, you know, it's just... And so sometimes what happens is even the recordings and things like have frustration. So also, we talked about backing up your data on your computers. Do it on your phones too, because a lot of people, you know, these Androids and the smartphones are mini computers on your iPad. Okay, make sure that you have everything secured, your passwords and all that, so there's no glitch on identity theft. I'm not trying to do fear. I'm just having you be responsible and careful. Okay. So make sure those things are happening. Make sure your alarm is on correctly. Okay, because sometimes we think we're seeing it. I remember my son, he kept saying it was all of a sudden he always wakes up on time. And even before in the Mercury retrograde one time, he was just having trouble. Well, I looked on the alarm. He goes, I put it. It was PM, not AM. Okay, it makes a big difference, 12-hour difference. But sometimes we think, or we glance and we're not seeing everything clearly because we have other things on our mind. So it kind of creates a confusion there. And that's what's very important to see. Also, when we have Mercury retrograde, what we do is we see how it's affecting our natal planets, okay, and other transit planets, what houses it falls in our natal chart. And that you can contact me, okay, text me, email me, contact me, and if you want to instantaneous real quick, go ahead, just do a PayPal deposit. I'm always thankful also for the donations. No, not anytime you guys ask me questions. That is, it's wonderful. I'm appreciative. I am a mommy. I am, have other things going on. So please, make a deposit, love donation if you want my time and effort, because that's my time and effort that I take away from my loved ones. And already these videos are a gift to you. But yet I'm very, very, very thankful and grateful for all those donations and love tokens that you guys get. One time someone gave me a lavender plant. I love that was sent to me. I love plants, by the way, and nuts and herbs, and flowers. So very, very kind. Another thing to remember too is because Mercury also rules, musicians with the hands, things doing with the hands. So be careful, especially if your Mercury is not, your natal Mercury is not retrograde, to be wary, stretch your hands all the time, including the thumb, stretch it back, and do some yoga, because also it rules the arms and shoulders. So what's going on is that if you're stressing, okay, it's going to collect there. Now, understand this. It's going to be a little bit hard for you because here comes the health part in it. All right, it just feels good, so I'm going to continue. Is that, remember, all our meridians are connected and our chakras connected to organs, okay? A lot of you don't understand that we have a couple meridians here connected to our stomach and our intestines, all right? And so when we have all this stressed out, think about it. When you're stressed, what are you doing with your abdominal regions? You're probably tightening it, and you're not even breathing. You're like, okay? And so whatever you're trying to digest, you're keeping it there. It's not allowing it to move through the intestines. And while it's keeping it there, because the muscles have tightened up, it's absorbing all the toxins. Because remember, the large intestine is your freeway system to throw out the toxins. So every time you don't breathe, every time you stress, now remember, you're absorbing all those negative toxins. Not just that, but every time you stress, it's because you're taking a negative perception. Once again, ground yourself. Say, all right, this is what life is about, me growing. Because the more we get upset about something, and the more that lesson is going to happen over and over and over again. Then you take the victimization. Oh, why me? This is always happening to me. No, it's because you haven't learned it yet. Learn it, absorb it, move on. All right, but if not, God and the universe gives it to us over and over. Other good things about Mercury retrograde, it's a time to review, check. We have started new projects after Mercury goes direct, and Mercury goes retrograde about every 2.5 to 3 months. All right. So we move forward with the next new moon or eclipse, and then we're starting new projects. And so what happens after 2.5 months, 3 months, we get an opportunity to stop, review, and say, is this working as I had hoped? Is this planning out as I had anticipated? Oh, I didn't think about this. How can I address this issue? It's not going, oh, no. Mercury retrogrades exactly when it should. So that means things need to review in what you're doing, okay? It's a good time too, because Mercury is also the planet that is in touch with cousins and our neighbors and our siblings. So there might be some confusion with those groups of people. You know, be cordial, be polite, friendly, but also take a step back. Mercury retrograde is also an opportunity to just relax. Don't fuss too much. They always say don't start new projects, which is true unless your Mercury is a natal or you have a very good lawyer or someone who's going over all the details, because sometimes we just can't avoid it, right? Who's going over all the details, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. And when you have someone like that in your group, in your party, in your team, to help review it, then by all means start the new project, you know. But if you don't, if you could prolong it just a little, that's fine. Or you could start a new contract knowing that there might be certain adjustments, all right? Well, I mean, I've done that. I started Mercury retrograde, my car insurance during Mercury retrograde, but I knew that it updates every 4 months. So I was like, of course, that makes sense. Anyway, so go ahead. You know, it was no big deal. And thank goodness, because that's when I had the drive-by, I was involved in that drive-by shooting, you know, the next day. Wow, you know, so we're good. Physically, we're all good, just so you know. But it was very interesting. One of those experiences you put on your, you know, you didn't think you had it on your bucket list and you don't want it on your bucket list, and you just, as a parent, it's a little bit, you know, and it happened during Mercury retrograde. So it makes you review and rethink, especially as a parent. So we have those opportunities to constantly review the situation, rethink it, readjust it, tie up loose ends, really relax, redo, you know, reboot things, and just relax into life and knowing that it's going to happen. So instead of fearing Mercury retrograde, sometimes you can plan around it and go, okay, if we start this project here, you know, a month and a half, well, we know Mercury's going to go retrograde, which is good because we're going to have an opportunity to review it, and we'll take that time, those 3 weeks, with the 1 week before and 1 week after, which equals 5 weeks, you know, of opportunities of adjusting it and seeing how we can use it more to our benefit, okay? Also, so with a Mercury retrograde, it's a time to drink a lot of water, because Mercury retrograde is all about electronics, technology, all right? Make sure that you're not putting anything metal with your toaster or in the electronics, you know, the outlets. Don't overload your outlets, okay? I've done that in the past at my parents' house. Oops. Okay, very nice price. I know, you with my moon in Aquarius just thinks all the electricity can happen. But if you drink a lot of water, we are energy also. And so for us to stay grounded and function better, make sure you are drinking those, you know, 8 ounces of water, at least a total of 64 ounces, you know. They say you should drink half of your weight. So if you weigh, you know, more than 130, you need more water. Okay, and not the purified water. That's dead water. You need to be drinking something, some kind of spring water. Like I should get some endorsement here, you know, or something. But they don't even know I'm endorsing them. But Arrowhead, Evian, Fiji. There's other spring waters. Okay, or even, you know, alkalized water is good too. Or tap water. Yes, tap water is way better than purified water. Purified water is dead water. Drinking it for more than 3 days really depletes your body of minerals and vitamins, which creates more aches and pains and diseases. Going back, why you need water, because water is a conductor. You know how they say don't blow dry your hair when you're in the bathtub or get out of the pool when there's lightning, because it's a conductor. And the more water we have, the better energy that is circulating. Also, too, remember, we are our nervous system. So a lot of people are not having a lot of fruits and vegetables, which is water based, okay? And that's why they don't function very well. The more a dense food, dead food, which is anything that's been packaged or in a can or that's in a bag or in a box, is dead food. They had to add minerals and vitamins, okay? It's not natural. So it is going to make it harder to digest. And so when the body takes away energy so it can digest, we don't function very well. So very important, okay? Make sure you're taking your magnesium and calcium citrate, all right? Selenium and zinc, potassium. Those are the 5 important minerals that we all need. Some of you say, well, I'm taking a multi. Yes, but majority of people don't take enough, of a certain mineral or vitamin, and it's very obvious. Okay, so it happens in the digestive system. So that's something else with Mercury retrograde that's very, very important. You need to stay light on your feet, doing stretches, doing Pilates, some kind of martial arts where you're stretching out your shoulders, okay? Or you're doing the sun salutation or Tai Chi, all those kind of stretching activities is very important at this time. If you find yourself driving and you're going, oh, I need a good stretch, you need to start taking something, some kind of activity that requires stretching. One of the ones that I just mentioned. Good herbs to take during this time, always to help any kind of inflammation, is basil, peppermint. Unless you have an ulcer, peppermint's not good, stomach ulcer. But all the other herbs too, which is thyme, really good. Things that are going to open up your lungs, okay, and to really see and help breathe clearly and open yourself up. Drinking teas also is very important. Staying alkali, so a lot of celery and cucumber with your meals. Do not mix your refined starchy carbs with your proteins. That's how you get fat. That's how you get sick. Separate it into meals. Contact me and I'll guide you some more. Anyway, so this is a lot about Mercury retrograde. This is a general video for those